Is it somebody right on my core? This is the moment you're meant to know.
Like time through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
Hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I'm here to do a reading because I am shocked that Northwest and Molly Santana had to cancel their tour before the tour even started. It shouldn't be that much of a surprise, because are we surprised? Because a lot of celebrities within this year, within the last 8 months, have been having to cancel parts of their tours, or just cancel their tours altogether, whether that's due to health reasons or allegedly poor ticket sales, like the rumors are saying for Molly Santana and Northwest. And simply it's because neither of them allegedly have some hits that are going to make people wanting to come see them in concert. So because of that, I know they both have to be disappointed after all this hype, after all this promotion that they did together to get people psyched and hyped to see them. However, I'm just going to read you a few things that I have found while I was skimming and combing through the internet to see what has to be the reason behind this cancellation, this abrupt cancellation before the tour even started. And this was announced, I think, just at the very end of July / the very beginning of August. So literally days before the first performance was supposed to start, because this tour was supposed to be the beginning half of August. Anyway, this is what I happened to find, and maybe you guys can let me know down below in the comments, how do you feel before I dive into these cards. So first, it says that Molly Santana said that she wanted to wish that Molly Santana wanted to finish her album instead of hitting the road, a source claimed, and that there was several factors, but mainly having to do with Molly not being available. That's partially the reason why it's canceled. And you would have to think, well, if there was supposed to be like a 2-week tour, just about, you could say 3 weeks if you want to stretch out the dates, but you could see that how anyway, you just think it's just a little bit of time out of your schedule just for this, but I get it. You know what? I totally get it. The creative process, when you're in the zone, you're in the zone, and touring is very draining, even if it's just for a short while. And then there was a second reason for the alleged allegations, which is the low ticket sales, and that they really wanted to have packed venues to make a profit, because the tour was expensive with a lot of security and travel. So because of that, the tour wasn't able to, so basically if they went on tour, they would be in the red instead of in the green. So they said, optics is not looking good. So they just said, scoot that out the way. Another thing that I had read is that North has taken to Instagram to share that. Share the news herself, saying that she has expressed disappointment, but also she thanks the fans for their support, and suggests that she was already looking ahead for future projects. So it was like, you know what, that's okay, guys. It's a hit or miss. North is like, don't worry, I got you for the future. I'll see you then. This is just one thing that fell through, but don't worry, this isn't the end of Northy. There's still more to come before this even fell through. So it's not like, I guess that was like their way of maybe hinting or allegedly saying that this tour wasn't supposed to be a test, that there was way more to come for North. So, but that's also reassuring some fans too, to know that there is more to come, and that this isn't the end of North, because North has been pretty silent since she dropped her album, and that was because it was supposed to be all time for promotion and do really some concert venues and pop-up events like that. Why do that when you can experience a concert, like get that full experience? But you know what, I get it. Another thing is that Molly has also expressed that she apologizes to the ticket sale holders and hope that she can make it up to them, by indicating that she has remained committed to performing together in the future. So allegedly Northwest and Molly Santana plan to perform in the future. Not sure when, but they plan to still perform and come together. So they're like, don't worry, this is still going to come to fruition. Me and Northy are still good behind the scenes, and we still are close inspirations to each other, and we still want to work together. This wasn't for some publicity stunt PR move. We definitely really want to do this collab together. So it definitely sounds like that something behind the scenes is apparently stopping them from going on this tour. It seems like both of them were wanting to go on this tour. Something else that I have found. Let me find one more. Yes, another thing. They're saying that Kim Kardashian, yes, you see all these rumors that are speculating that allegedly now Kim Kardashian wanted to have a little bit more say, a little bit more not momager, but a little bit more hands in, see what's going on with her daughter, because this is what it said that I found out. Multiple reports are suggesting that Kim Kardashian has been increasingly cautious as the tour approaches. I wonder if that could just also be the backlash that she has received since we saw North at Paris Fashion Week. That could be another thing where people are just questioning her parenting. So now suddenly like, I gotta look like I'm an evolved parent. But this article also talked about Kanye West too, and how Kanye was also another speculation and reason why people think that they have put a stop to the stores, because Kanye has always been disapproving of this, even though he's had some sort of hand in his daughter's creative process. But maybe he's uncomfortable with her going on tour. But here's what they had to say about Kim Kardashian, saying that Kim remains supportive to Northwest's music ambitions, but has grown concerned about the demands of touring on a 13-year-old performer. The source claimed that she has taken a more hands-on role in planning and overseeing any future live performances. That concern is understandable given the realities of touring. So those were some things such as, extended travel schedules, late night performances, constant public attention can be physically and emotionally demanding, even for experienced adult artists. So because of that, it's like, why are we going to put Northwest through that? So all those things and those speculations. I just want to drop some few nuggets out there for you guys. But let's really pull some cards to see how is North feeling now that the tour is canceled. Because that's all I got. It's just because this is honestly, it seems like at this very moment what Northwest is dreaming to do. So because of that, to have her first setback so early on in her career, literally, it can build you up and make you stronger. But also maybe sometimes it can wear on your confidence a little bit slightly, especially if he was already receiving some sort of backlash because people wasn't a fan. There were some people out there that wasn't a fan of your album, or they're just questioning you, or they're commenting on now how you have scarring from piercings and things like that. So you have people constantly judging your body and your appearance, which I am going to talk about somebody else like that in the limelight, Ariana. So because of that, okay. So all those things attached to it, it's the mental aspect. And I'm glad, whether it was Kim, whether it was Kanye, whether it was the low ticket sales, I'm kind of glad in a sense that Northwest didn't have to go through the grueling demands of what it takes to go touring at this very young age. I know Michael Jackson has done it, and other people that were young child stars have gone out performing and did tours and did live concerts and things like that. So, okay. I see there's a card in here. There we go. That's what I was looking for. There was a card flipped over in my deck. So I just want to pull some cards to see how North is feeling. And then finally and foremost, what is surrounding North in this tour and why it got canceled. And I was having some sort of trepidation last time I did a reading on this, and I was feeling as though there was something sketchy, falsity, something that we should be concerned about and looking over. And lo and behold, something came to stop it. So it almost seemed like it was a good vision, like a vision, almost in the sense that maybe there could have been something going on behind the scenes, and that's why it had to be pulled. Why the plug had to be pulled so quickly at such a short notice. But hey, let's just pull some cards and find out. First, North is feeling like the Seven of Pentacles. Go figure. She's the block card here is the Queen of Pentacles, which is kind of sad. Then we have here the Strength card, which I love. It's the Foundation card. Page of Pentacles in the past. I really do like that. Queen of Swords in the present moment. Ace of Pentacles in the future. She isn't done. So what we see here right now with Northwest, yes, she's the Queen of Cups. That's the block. You know, she's a little bit sad. She's a little bit down about not getting to go on tour with Molly, especially somebody who she has idolized, and they both idolized together. And it was like a dream come true for the both of them to come together, and for that to be her first big breakout thing that she did. When she came out in her career, that was like a vision. That was like, you know what, that's great. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be a great start to my career. I'm doing this, that, and the third. Everything I love and everything I do is just coming to me, fruition, all that. However, right now she's feeling like the Seven of Pentacles because there's a waiting period, because there has been a halt. And that's why this block card, the Queen of Pentacles, it's like, emotionally, I don't want to say she's trying to hold it all together. That almost sounds like she's about to have a breakdown. But in seriousness, it's just feeling, well, we know that's the time. I don't want to say that North has controlling tendencies, but we know that North likes things to go her way, and her parents make it an easy life path for her where, you know, she wants it, she gets it kind of thing. So because of that, to see that the tickets were so low after the pretty well received reception that a 12 going on just 13-year-old, the album did, it was amazing. It was great. It was like North had the potential. She felt like she had that star factor, that it factor. Even though it was like, even though there were some like things that made her feel insecure, things that made her feel as though, is it worth trying? But she put all that inwardly, because, you know, if you think about it, she's a Gemini. So just think about the two polarities of the twins. You have the allegedly good twin and then the allegedly bad twin. So you have the good positive energy, then you have the shadow side. So that shadow side could really weigh you down and drag you down. So it's like that side of yourself that you try to dismiss, but because you're that Gemini and you consciously have an awareness of the duality and the polarities of yourself, you get to feel the true human experience of it all. So because of that, that's the kind of energy that I get when I think of the twin energy, the two sides, the two halves that make the human whole, the human experience whole. And that's what North is. And because of that, she had all this planned, all this going into it, but then that shadow side came in once the ticket sales didn't come through like they wanted to. People wasn't really wanting to buy Northwest tickets. Another article that I read, but I didn't want to quote, talked about how the people that are buying tickets are really the parents, because nobody 13, 14, 15, maybe 15, but nobody 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is going to be buying tickets to go see Northwest. So it's going to be the parents that are going to buy tickets to go see Northwest. And yes, sure, people brought their kids to like Sabrina Carpenter's show, and Sabrina Carpenter was definitely not child appropriate in that sense when you think of age dynamics, but all at the same time, somebody who is appropriate of age, she still carries herself way more maturely than her peer group. So because of that, you would think, would parents really be inclined to allow their child to be, yeah, sure, you can listen to her, yeah, sure, you can idolize her, but to go there, to be in the energy, to immerse you in that type of culture, it's a lot of parents are like buckling down on how and what their children are exposed to just because of censorship. And you really have to have, but in all this AI and all the internet exposure, you really have to in a sense, micromanage your children. So because of that, I'm not saying like helicoptering parents, but we could see some parents not being supporting North, and she's touring with somebody who is 21 anyway. So I had a problem with that dynamic anyway. So like all those different things and puzzle pieces, you really got to think, is this a place where parents are actively going to be okay with bringing their child to be influenced by potentially? So all those different things, that Queen of Cups, that reality that set in of all those outside forces that are coming up against North when it's coming to this tour. But still, she is trucking through like a soldier with this strength card. She's bearing up that inner strength because she has a dream, a passion. She's the Page of Pentacles. It's awkward at the beginning, like the Ace of Pentacles shows for her future. The past and the future almost coincide, that this is a cycle. It's awkward, but you fall down, you get back up. It's a learning experience. And North, that's why North is, even though it's the Queen of Swords, she's the Seven of Pentacles, feeling as though, even though this was a setback right now, even though this is putting a damper, a wet blanket, a Debbie Downer on everything that I had envisioned of how this dream was, my launch off career was going to be, and now I have to change and detour. Queen of Swords is now got to figure out how to maneuver. How do I keep the people still alive? How do I not let them down, kind of thing? So it's like almost in can we see like PR? But those are all the things that I'm just feeling how North is experiencing the cancellation. Because honestly, North knows why that tour was canceled. We just don't know. So because of that, that's what I'm feeling. Picking up against the cards, that it's like something that she's not going to let whatever the reason is. Northwest is not going to allow that to get her down and allow her to feel as though it's time to give up and hang up the towel as an artist and try something else. Because you know how sometimes when you have everything to your disposal, if you have one minor inconvenience, if something comes up against your plan, it's a little bit too hard, they just push you to the side, say, you know what, I dropped this, I give up on this, I'm moving on to the next thing, I'm moving on to something better, just simply because they afford it, just simply because they can. So because of that, there's no true love, there's no true passion. But for North, there is a love, there is a passion. So she takes that with stride, as a pride, as an artist. Yes, that bruised in her ego a little bit, but she's going to keep moving forward. She's going to keep it going. Like they, funnily enough, say out there, you're doing something right when you have haters. So maybe that's the attitude North is taking. You're doing something right when your tour gets canceled at the very start of your career. So let's just see what the outside forces are that could be the reason behind the cancellation of this tour, now that we know how North is feeling. We feel a journey, a family room. Oh. One more card. Are you surprised? Just one more card. Then I'm done. I decided to make sure, because this is exactly what I was thinking. It was definitely her parents, for sure. Whatever was going on behind the scenes, they just must have not felt comfortable allowing North to go on this tour and out of their sight. Because we see the family room, and then we have the main male, and then I had to pull some more cards to see if the main female would come out, and she did. So that represented a partner, a pair, and that represents Kanye West. Kanye West came out first, and I briefly mentioned him at the very beginning, and I was like, I only read articles about, and I only read to you guys what they had to say about Kim Kardashian, but it also definitely seems like there was some sort of Kanye West influence behind the scenes too. But furthermore, just looking at it, the only two cards outside of that has nothing to do with the family, we have a gilded cage and an imprisonment, which is actually really a contradicting polarity duality. And I really like that for Northwest. not because I don't like the imprisonment and cage, but because she's a Gemini and she works in duality. So everything is going to be um, a double meaning for her in a sense. So the way I see it is the gilded cage. That's when you're free, when you let go, when you're able to have freedom, explore creativity, all those different things. However, also at the same time, there's an imprisonment, there's an entrapment, there's a you're free, but you're not really free kind of thing. And that was all paired with what the mother or the main female, which I was asking what was the outside influences, so that can only tell me. And that's right here on the line with the family room, which is all about what's going on behind closed doors, what is talked about in the private secrets of the home and closed doors, like they say, what we say in this family stays in this family kind of thing. Energy that I'm getting with this family room. So all that aligned with Kim Kardashian's almost. Like I said, it's not like Kim was being like it's the way, you know what? I think it's the simple fact that because this is the outside influences of how Kim could have been perceiving it, that she's allowing North to be free and allowing the North to do and express herself creatively, but also Kim at the very end notice it before the hindsight came that there's a sort of trap, a sort of environment that she was realizing she was going to allow her daughter to walk into, and she would almost feel, I don't know, the best way I could say is a bit convicted if she would have allowed that to happen, as if she would have allowed her daughter to walk into something she knows is stressful, what she knows what it's like, she knows is the experience, she knows it's all great. But once she really started thinking about the high demands, it's like, great, you think because it's a short tour that's even better. But when it's a short tour, and I even said it before, it was planned pretty quickly. From training to getting the stage preparations to getting the safety, the travels, the tour bus. So all that you would think for a shorter time of period would be less, it would be cost effective, A, and B, it would be less grueling, but probably because of the tight packed schedule and all those different things, it actually increases the demand power from the artists or artistes that are performing, the artists. I'm sorry, I'm not the artists that are performing. So because of that, once Kim really started to maybe start hearing the details, it was like, wait a minute. And there could have been some consulting with Kanye West, because Kanye West is a musician himself. He's a Gemini himself. He can relate and connect to Kanye West, to Northwest best himself, even though she's a good mixture of both of her parents in a nice blended, respectful way. However, we could have had some communication with Kanye. Ask Kanye if this is good, if this is all right. How would you feel? What would you go through, and all those different concerning questions that you were asking when you're really trying to get a final decision, which is great when you have two people or a two-parent household. Even though they're not living in the same family, but she has both of her parents in her life actively working in different parts and areas of her life as they need to be and where they need to be, because that's just, they seem to work out for themselves. But all that to be said, it definitely seems like when it comes to Northwest and everything, music, anything, just basically anything music. Yes, Kanye West has probably a little bit more of an influence on it because she just is, but we know that Kim definitely has a sort of say, a sort of care, a sense of responsibility to ensure of the security, the safety, all those other things that she knows that she can look out for. And that's why them two together make a perfect team when it comes to caring and looking out for their daughter. And it just seemed like they both made the executive decision that it was best, I guess, physically and mentally for their daughter. But all at the end, there's the Ace of Pentacles. There's still more to come. This is just the beginning. That's not the end of Northwest's story. It's only just the beginning. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I sure did. I was surprised to see that it was actually this great. Actually, I was more surprised that even though North was a little bit sad with the Queen of Cups energy, she totally is an executive CEO business savvy, what's the next move type of thing. And that's like already right there, way more mature than a lot of people in her age group. So she was like able to take the step back and take this as a lesson and not take a temper tantrum, and actually use this as a challenge and a moment to grow as an individual and as an artist. And I really appreciate that for her. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I sure did. But hey, you know what? Everything I do say is allegedly. I was just curious about how North was going after this tour cancellation. And hey, let me know down below in the comments. How do you feel about Northwest tour getting canceled? Did you even care that she was going on tour to begin with? Did you have a problem with her going on tour? And now that, because of her young age and that she was with somebody older than her, and did you have sorts of uncomfortability? And hey, tell me, what do you feel like the reason that cancellation could be? Let me know all that down below in the comments if you will. That being said, give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We really mean a lot to the channel. Please and thank you. And become a beautiful sunflower and spread those beautiful sunflower seeds all over this earth, because God knows we desperately need it, especially during times like this. It's rocky and it's a hard not life out here. Everybody seems to be struggling or has some sort of challenge coming up, especially when it comes to like dreams and visions and having a clear sense of what your future path is going. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed that reading and all that commentary. And you know what I say before I go. Hype us up. Subscribe to us. And don't forget to thumb us up. Hey, sunflowers.